young lady that I'm going to be speaking with today, and I must emphasize, young lady. I've been advised to say emphasis on the young. Is someone who I consider to be, an advocate for women, someone who does yeoman service in the community. And I'm very pleased to have her here today on Positive Profiles. I'm your host, Rashid Holder, and I want to welcome none other than Mrs. Shamelle Rice.
Thank you, Rashid. I appreciate you, and I'm happy to be here to have this chat today, just to talk about, just all.
We can talk about you
Shamelle.
and all that, encompasses Shamelle.
Right.
So let us start at the beginning, because, I can say we've known each other for a greater part of 20 plus years or so.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. But, who is Shamelle Rice?
Oh, man. That's a really loaded question. I would say that I see myself as really just a person with a very big heart, whether that is, yes, from my work that persons know about, or just being a daughter, being a mom, being a wife, like whatever it is. Like for me, I like to lead every single thing with my heart.
And I usually say, the world needs a lot of positive people. Good people who just, are satisfied with doing good and not necessarily getting anything, from doing what we consider good service. Mm-hmm. You encompass that a lot, and I want you to, just give the audience a bit of background as to, who Shamelle Rice is. We went to school together. That much I can tell them. I'm not going to tell them where.
Right, yes.
But I can leave all of that little tidbits there for you to share.
All right, so it's interesting that you said, talked about going to school. And there are a lot of people who know me now, and the Shamelle know, mm-hmm. but they don't know the Shamelle of, years gone by. And I like to share where my origins, just go into that. So I grew up with my mom, who was a young single parent. She would have had me and my brothers, as a teenager. We were like the poor children, the poor family, going to school. Most of my friends, most people in my class didn't know anything about how my living situation was. They didn't know the days that I was at school hungry, that I didn't have the hand-me-downs in terms of the school clothing, the struggling to get through the assignments because either we don't have, the electricity on, or all of those, just these struggles.
Adversity from a very young age.
Oh, for sure. But I think that one of the things that served me was, in spite of all of the challenges, I always had vision. Like I always dreamed. I was always a big dreamer. Still today.
Yeah.
Listen.
You got a vivid imagination.
Listen to me. I always got idea. I always dream about something. I always ready. Mm-hmm. And I think that really served me. And that, along with just having people come alongside me over the years who said, but this young lady, she has like a lot of potential. It's just that she doesn't have access to resources, or this is the situation. And they came alongside me and said, no, we're going to help. How can we assist? And it was through those kinds of, I would like to say, like kind souls, who helped to make the difference in just the person I am today. So in spite of the challenges, just having those support systems, it helped me then to be able to access opportunities.
If you could go back in time, would you change those circumstances or some of those circumstances?
No.
Those have helped to mold you.
Listen, I am very reflective. I journal a lot. I'm always thinking about things. And I have two little girls.
What are the ages?
Ariel, she's 8, and Kairos is 5. And they were asking me a lot of questions, around Christmas. Saying, "Mommy, when you were small, when you used to do this?" Mm-hmm. And Mommy was small. I was like, no. There were so many things. They were so excited about getting their gifts, and I was like, I don't remember even having gifts,
So seeing that joy light up in them obviously is a great feeling for you as a mom.
Oh, for sure. But what I would say is, what I have now, I appreciate. I feel so much more because I also know to not have.
Yeah.
It sounds weird, but when you don't have, it helps you to appreciate when you do have something even more.
Well, as we've shared earlier, we went to school together, and it's funny that you would say, when you don't have, obviously you learn to appreciate a lot more, because people would think that because we went to what you would consider a well-to-do school, that we were well-to-do individuals. I have never shared this, but as we are here now, I mean, there have been times when, I was at school and one of the teachers would say to me, listen, go to the canteen, let them know that I sent you because, I didn't have money for lunch.
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't know that going to school too. It was like,
correct.
Oh
So, I mean, I think that we often put up a lot of barriers so that people don't see the real us.
Yeah.
And, we often talk about being vulnerable. So now that we've gotten to a stage in life where you can be vulnerable and share these stories because they will impact some person in a positive way. And that's what, we strive to do, with this series and with these conversations that we have in person. So hearing this, I'm sure that there's someone out there who's currently going through a similar situation. What would you say to them at this time?
I would say don't give up. I would say don't give up. And there are days it is difficult to not think of giving up. That's the truth. But I really and firmly believe once you're alive and you can even have just a little bit of hope that something better can happen, something better can come, then it's possible.
So what kept you going?
What kept me going? I would definitely say, firstly, my faith in God. From a young age, that really helped me. That really kept me grounded in just knowing there must be a purpose for me. God has me here for a reason. And I think it started there. But then along with my faith and my spirituality, just the persons, just the humans that came alongside and said, Shamelle.
Right.
Shamelle.
So we have the how you got to where you are today. Tell me about what you currently do and the impact that, that has on, the wider community.
All right.
I know you wear many hats, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, I'll go with the one I guess most people know me for. So I run an organization called Jabez House. And Jabez House is a charity. This is 13 years now.
Yeah.
Like,
kudos to you. Kudos to you.
Thank you. I'm like, how is it 13? Because I feel like just past 13. But so Jabez House, we work with women who are in sex work, who don't want to be in sex work, and who really want to transition, from the trade and to be able to, find themselves in mainstream environments of work, whether that is owning their own businesses or finding a job otherwise that they don't have to continue.
How did that come about though? Like, I mean, I don't think that most people, even if I'm starting a charity organization, I'm not thinking to myself, well, hey, let me go and see if I can get some of these workers off of the streets and into something more meaningful. So how did that idea even come about?
So what can I say? So I shared earlier about about my mom being a young teenage mom and struggling and everything. And I saw, and I always say to people, and like to make this very clear, my mother was never a sex worker. But what I did see was when you are poor, when you are vulnerable, I can see how people would want to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Right? So I do recall being young and, seeing people coming around. I remember one day my mother was so mad and she was like cussing this man. And I didn't understand as a child. And it was only afterwards and just recalling something she was saying, she was like, think about it, he yawped on me just because, and it was like, I know now that here was someone, a neighbor, right, who would have been seeing her coming, oh, this young girl got all these children, I can help you.
Yeah.
I can help you if you help me.
What, for what?
Right?
That'll be anything.
Exactly. So I would say that I knew from young, I never thought I would have been working with sex workers. That's the truth. Like, as you said, nobody thinks that.
Yeah.
But I understood what being poor, what being vulnerable, especially as a woman, the position it can put you in. And because I got so much help along the way, because I got so many people along the way saying, we want to come alongside you, I knew that I wanted to pay that forward.
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted to help some other young woman as, who might be in a situation. I didn't know what the situation would be, but I just knew if I could help you, I would want to. And from the age of 13, 14, and I have the journals even to this day. Writing. I got the receipts.
Yeah.
You understand? It's in the noting. Just writing about this place that I will have to help women who are abused, women who are, just going through it. And it was just like a burning desire I had from a teenager until I decided, to quit my job and to start.
Yeah.
So I would say that it really began from there. And now I guess 13 years later, being able to have work with so many women, being
Yeah.
able to see so many ladies be able to completely leave sex work and be able to stand on their own, have their own businesses, just the sense of pride and just, just the new lives that they have. It's really just been amazing.
So I mean, that's a very, like powerful thing. Seeing some person go through that transformation. Is there any like one particular individual that like sticks or any one particular instance that you said this is one of the most like wholesome and positive things that I've seen happen during
Man.
the time that you've been doing this?